name is Nazira, and for today's video, I'll be talking about the clinical trial monitoring, what is its purpose, who is involved, and what are the responsibilities of a monitor. So to define monitoring, it is basically the act of overseeing the progress of a clinical trial and of ensuring that it is conducted, recorded, and reported in accordance with the protocol, SOP, GCP, and the applicable regulatory requirement. Monitoring will be carried out by the monitor who is appointed by the trial sponsor, and they are usually referred to as the CRA. They mainly interact with the study site personnel such as the CRC, the investigator, or other study team members. So a monitor has a number of roles and responsibilities when conducting on-site monitoring, and for today, we'll be reviewing different scenarios or situations of the interaction between a monitor and the study site personnel during a monitoring visit. The video will be set in a clinical trial setting that investigates a new cytotoxic oral drug. So the first responsibility of a monitor we will look at is to verify if the storage times and condition of the IP are acceptable and that the supplies are sufficient throughout the trial. So as you watch the video, try to identify and take note of what the monitor has done wrong.
Oh, the cabinet is open.
Oh wow, that's a lot of medication. I wonder how much they would be if I sold them. I bet it would cost a lot.
Why is the cabinet open?
That's strange. Why is the cabinet door open when it should be locked? I'll go get the master keys from David's office.
Wait, why is the air conditioning closed when it should be open for 24 hours? That's strange. Why are there so many missing IPs? Now let's test if you can spot the mistakes that were shown in the video. The very obvious one was that the cabinet was left open when it should have been locked with the key, leading to a missing investigational drug, which is a site hazard. It is very important to make sure that there is proper storage to ensure that the drugs are kept accountable. And the next one, if you do not seem to catch it, is the proper storage of the master key. The drugs are not the only one that have to be kept locked. It is also important to ensure that the key of the cabinet is kept safely. And finally, the next one will be the air conditioning of the storage site. It is important that the drugs are to be kept in a 24-hour air conditioning. This could be avoided if the study staff were adequately informed and trained by the monitor extensively. Now let's look at a scenario where the monitor has fulfilled her responsibility.
As instructed by the monitor, I need to place all the IPs in a locked cabinet, keeping the master key with me at all times without placing it in areas where it is accessible for others to take. I should also take note to always keep the room in 24-hour air conditioning without closing the air conditioning.
Subjects are as important as the drugs themselves when it comes to conducting a trial. In the next video, we will take a look at the monitor's second responsibility, which is to verify if the investigator is enrolling only eligible subjects. As you watch the video, try to identify what is the mistake and what the monitor should have done better to prevent it. A patient named Janice Tan comes in for her first routine visit. Janice's blood was taken to the lab for routine testing. After receiving the lab result, Jervis realized there's an abnormal reading. He proceeds to report the adverse event as per protocol by writing it in an adverse event form, which was submitted to the monitor.
CRC, can you get me Mr. Alex Wu's lab results from the first routine visit?
Okay, yes sir.
The monitor cross-referred the patient's past medical records with his abnormal readings.
The patient's GFR levels are too low. That would mean the patient must have damaged kidneys. That's very weird since the patient was recruited, with us knowing that he is a healthy individual. Let me check his previous medical records. Wait, this patient has been having low GFR levels for over a year now. With these low levels, he must have a chronic problem with his kidneys. How was he recruited when he was ineligible? This must have been a mistake. Let me check with the CRC.
Yes sir, you paged me.
Yeah, I'm inquiring about this patient named Alex Wu. The investigator recruited this patient for the trial, and you were in charge for cross-checking the patient's medical records for his eligibility. Am I right?
Yes, I am. What seems to be the problem?
This patient has abnormal lab readings. If you're not aware, he has very low levels of GFR readings for almost a year now based on his medical records, and he definitely has some sort of renal problem or renal dysfunction. And do you know that the kidney disease is in the exclusion criteria for the recruitment, right?
Wait, I was not aware. I did cross-refer to the patient's medical records for eligibility. There must be an oversight.
Which month did you use to cross-refer?
I cross-referred to the month in January, which is the month before recruiting.
And did you not check the months before that? He's been having abnormal results for almost a year now. The patient is definitely not eligible for this trial. Please let the patient know that he won't be participating in this trial, and I'll let the investigator know about this.
Now let's see if you know what the mistakes are after watching the video. As you know, it seems that the CRC has made a mistake for not being thorough in the checking of the patient's eligibility before recruiting the subject. It is very important to check at least 3 months' worth of medical records before recruiting, as lab results do not always stay constant. This was not the fault of the CRC only, as this could have been prevented if the monitor had trained the CRC and the staff about the criteria and eligibility on recruiting subjects before recruiting. The monitor should have been very thorough and detailed about each criteria and ensure that every staff member is aware of this. Now let's look at the scenario where the monitor does fulfill the responsibility.
Now, talking about the eligibility criteria for the trial, this is a very thorough list for inclusion and exclusion criteria for recruiting subjects. As you know, our trial is about diabetes mellitus. It's very important that subjects we are recruiting are only diabetic patients who are above the age of 21. Subjects should also not have any cardiovascular or kidney diseases, as you can see listed in the patient eligibility criteria. So when blood tests are conducted during the subject recruitment, please be aware of certain blood test components to see if they are in a normal range, such as levels of GFR should be more than 60, and more details are in the document, so let me know if you have any more questions, and let the patient know if they are not eligible.
During an ongoing clinical trial, the monitor would visit the study on site to conduct routine monitoring to ensure that the trial is running smoothly. The monitor will keep check relevant documents such as the informed consent form to ensure that each subject has signed it. The third responsibility that we will go through next will be to verify that the written informed consent was obtained before each subject participation in the trial. So as you watch the video, try to identify and take note what the monitor has done wrong.
So as you know, you'll be given the drug regime every week, meaning that you'll be here for a total of 2 months, so the nurses over here will help you administer the medication. So this is the informed consent form with the procedures I mentioned earlier. You just need to help me fill this out at the bottom over here and sign at the bottom alongside with your IC, alright?
Okay, sure.
You paged me.
Yes, I'm inquiring about this patient named Janice Ng. I'd like to know the reason why the subject, who's not even of legal age yet, signed her own informed consent. The subject is only 17 years old. So why is there no countersign provided by the legal guardian or parent?
Oh no, I'm so sorry, it's my mistake. I wasn't actually aware that a guardian was supposed to sign on behalf of the child. I'm so sorry, it's my mistake.
The subject is too young to be able to sign her own informed consent. We need at least a countersign given by her legal parent to admit her into the clinical trial. Please do not skip over such an important measure, as it's very, very important that we check, make sure that the informed consent has necessary contents before admitting them into any procedure. This is because the informed consent gives the potential participant all the information they need to understand and what they are volunteering for. It is very important for people thinking about participating in the clinical trial to understand their role in the study.
Alright, I understand.
So now let's look back at what was the mistake in the scenario. The fault here was that he got an underage child to sign the consent form, and it is extremely important to make sure that the subject is able to provide consent for themselves, and if they are too young to do so, a guardian or a parent must be present to countersign. This is to ensure that the consent forms are filed for the participants and they are eligible. This could have been prevented from the start if the CRC knows to get the informed consent signed by the legal parent or guardian if the subject is underage. Now let's look at the same scenario with the right way to fulfill the responsibility.
So as you know, you'll be here for a new drug regime every week. So you'll be here for a total of 6 months. So the nurses over here will help you administer your medication. So this is an informed consent form with the procedures I mentioned earlier. So I would like to ask, are you more than 18 years old?
No.
Okay, since you're not 18 years old yet, I would need to have your parent to help you sign here.
Okay, sure.
So it's important for you to have a parent or guardian to help you sign for every new procedure since you're still underage.
Alright,
Thank you.
Every trial will always need to end, and the monitor holds quite a number of responsibilities before officially closing the trial. The very last responsibility that we'll be covering today will be collecting all the remaining documents to verify the completeness of the trial documents at the study site to archive. The monitor is to take charge of archiving all the important documents in a proper manner, and as you watch the video, do take note what is the mistake the monitor has made.
Hey David, I need a huge favor from you. Do you mind taking care of the archiving documents on site? I'll be very busy next week, as you know, since Chinese New Year is coming. I'll give you a very huge ong pao as a favor in return.
Okay, Janice, I'll try my best. What do you need me to do exactly?
Oh, you just need to call the archiving company to collect them. Just make sure that all of the archiving documents are going at the right side, alright? So handle the documents with care, okay? Thanks.
Hi, I'm from the Sembawang Archiving Corps. I'm here to collect some documents.
Oh yeah. Right this way. So just archive everything in the document storage area. So here, and here. So just archive everything.
Everything?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll get everything registered to the system. Here's the serial number for the collection. Okay.
David, the sponsor is requesting Nanyang Pharmacy for the archive and the documentation of IP destruction, completed subject identification code list, and the audit certificate from our clinical trial. You archive it, right?
Okay, I'll go grab it at the archive company now.
Here are the documents.
Oh shit, it's all blank. I'm so dead.
It seems that the CRC had made a mistake where he finds that the archive documents have faded due to forgetting to certify a copy of the thermal paper. But what could have prevented this mistake from happening? It is the monitor's duty to ensure that all documents are to be archived and to be checked very thoroughly. This is to make sure that appropriate documents are being archived at the right place, such as medical records are to be returned to the hospital, unused sponsor documents are to return to the sponsor, and on-site materials are to be archived at the warehouse. This process will also help to prevent special documents to be prepared properly before archiving, such as thermal paper. The monitor should have instructed the CRC properly and verified them himself before sending it to archiving. Let's see the good scenario.
Good afternoon, this is the Sembawang Archiving Corps. Are you calling to book an appointment?
Good afternoon, I'm Janice, a clinical trial monitor of Nanyang Pharmacy. I have an appointment today for archiving. Can I postpone the appointment of the archiving to another day? And can I check if I can make a certified true copies of these documents? I realize they are printed on thermal paper, so it will fade away after 6 months.
Yes, ma'am. We actually have a special service for copying and certifying documents. The copying service have a surcharge of $1 per document. Which day would you like to change your service to?
That's great. Next Monday, 1 p.m. can. I'd like to also use the copying service.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move your appointment for copying and archiving to the 7th February, 1 p.m.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Now that we've gone through a few of the responsibilities of a monitor, I hope that you have an idea of what a monitor does on the job. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for more videos like this.